Thought I'd do another late night post. Not a depressing one about my mental health, but a serious one, taking into account the virus and my post the other day about the refugee camps. Basically, out of the blue, 1:30 at night, one of the random unimportant news, one of the, not the main news broadcast, but they do different programs, and it was one of these other programs on BBC News. They brought up the topic of the refugee camps, and it wasn't really conclusive what they were trying to say. I didn't pick up a clear message, but I'll give you a breakdown of what was said, because I don't think the information's out there. Well, if anyone's interested, whatever. What was said was essentially just before the virus broke, I think there was a lot of violence as a result of the migrants. So they started to become separated. Apparently the workers and all of that had to leave. This is due to the violence, not the virus. So the refugee camps were essentially isolated, a lot of them. Then the virus hit. The advice by the Greek government. This one was focusing on one of the camps in Lesbos. The advice by the Greek government was the Greeks to stay at home and to the migrant camps were even more segregated. And that they had one of the few volunteers that was still helping there, and she seemed quite lost with it, but no real information was given. All it was said was that they were becoming more and more segregated. Now, as an island, Lesbos, apparently the Greeks were getting the coronavirus because they were travelling. I suppose it would make sense, it's an island. And apparently there was only one death. And I think that's for the Greeks. And that's all that was said. No more information. Now I want to just state a few of the other things that I've heard with regards to the coronavirus, so I can really get clear. You could get clear about what is going on, because I haven't had the coronavirus and I'm still alive, unfortunately. I haven't dropped dead, which is what I would have hoped for. Sorry to be so you know what I'm going through at the moment, so that's why I said that. But it's a very serious virus. The whole world's in lockdown. A few bits of information we've had are that death tolls are double. Death tolls were double for this time of the year, for that time of the year earlier this year. So we know we know something is going on to the extent whereby people are dying. The other bits I've heard from Russia today, they had a interview whereby they were stating there'd been a few instances now, I think in Hong Kong and Spain. Please forgive me, I wasn't really paying attention to the details, whereby it's been airborne. Hotels have been infected, and the only way was airborne transmission, or a transmission beyond what was prior accepted as the means of transmission for the virus. So, I suspect that this is my suspicion, that the virus isn't the virus as it's been stated. The virus is something that's taking place worldwide and it's serious. Whether it be from 5G masts or some other highly developed virus that's transmitted by oxygen or energy or consciousness. It could be a consciousness virus, which is what I stated about less than 0.5% of the information I had before, and coming at the time where the Mayans have stated this is the new 2012. So that would be the best hope, that it's a consciousness virus and this is actually a consciousness awakening of some sort. But either way, it was totally inconclusive of how it's affected these migrants. Apparently on the Greek side there's only been one death, so I don't really, that doesn't really say a thing, does it? Anyway, yeah, the question's still out there. It's still very much bugging me how right, let's tie this into what I said the other night. I'm a heartless person. I've been stating that I'm a zombie, I'm depressed, I'm running on autopilot to my past habitual patterning, holding my breath to the depression, and I have a lot of mixed up feelings towards humanity. I'm acting in a way that I know is appropriate to what I've been taught by life and by my mental health, because as much as I'm going through a depression at present, and I'm posting to lots of bored people seeing my complaining mug every day, I'm trying as much as possible to behave in a way that I know is right, behave in a way that I know is as close to myself as possible, so that I keep plugging away being a zombie, a depressed zombie, I give myself the best possible chance of coming out of this, because I'm depressed, I'm a zombie, but because I'm behaving in a way that I know I would have otherwise done before, and that was the best I could possibly do. And I know that little actions like these videos, and like concern for others when I don't really have concern for others, and going about actions like raising concern for others in these videos when I don't really have concern for others. Is acting in the best way possible, that I'm not going to have to stay here for a minute longer than I have to. But I'm absolutely shocked. I'm absolutely shocked that I'm a depressed zombie. And this will be the third for people in the migrant camps. And nobody else seems to be having any concern for them. And I'm a depressed zombie. I'm the one who's maybe you should all become depressed zombies. Seriously, I mean, we don't really have life. It's raising other questions, isn't it? It's raising other questions. It's like, if people in really and truly, let's admit it, if whole favelas were wiped out, and if whole migrant camps are going to be wiped out, and really and truly that's what should happen as a result of the information put out there, as a result of what to do against the coronavirus. Society would have to stop, really, wouldn't it? If I don't know how many people live in favelas and how many people in these migrant camps, but I'm sure we're talking about millions. And how can we see that information as a society on TV, that these pockets of high concentrations of people, of not just people, but the most hard off people, really. We're all born, and it's potluck, isn't it? Some people are born with a silver spoon. Some people are born in the ditch, in the gutter. And some are in between. And the potluck is that the ones in the gutter, as a result of the way the world's set up, would be really and truly, as a result of the information that's been put out there, are being wiped out. Now, if that information is put out there on TV, that as a result of the silver spoons in their mouths, and everyone in between, including myself and including everyone that's able to access fucking Facebook and YouTube, the privileges that we have, they're suffering. We'd all have to really sit back as a society, wouldn't we? And say, this isn't right. We'd have to make serious changes. Now, I can't foresee that all all of these places are going to be wiped out. So it still comes back in my mind that something isn't right about the way and the information put out there on the coronavirus. It therefore, get this, it therefore comes to my mind that if it can be spread beyond the means that it's been stated already, but it's airborne, consciousness-borne, or energetically transmitted, and I can state that the favelas and the migrant camps aren't going to be wiped out because I'm one ill man with a serious mental health illness, and I'm raising concern about this, and all the people out there that are have a lot more easier lives than myself can't foresee it. I don't believe that. I believe that people must, and there isn't enough concern there. Because as I said, if these camps get totally wiped out and obliterated, we've got a totally different world ahead of us. We can't carry on as a society. Could you carry on with your life? If the people in power of the world are allowing these pockets of the worst of people and the people in the world that need the most help to just drop dead, I couldn't carry on. Anyway, you see what I'm getting at? It's a very, very, very serious illness. It's a very, very serious condition, this virus. It's also a very, very serious political implications. And I don't like to get involved in politics, and I'm talking about politics because it's life first. I don't do politics. So it comes back to the information being put out there about the coronavirus is incorrect. I just can't fathom the people in power of the world are going to allow these places to just be obliterated. I'm gonna have to send a message to BBC News. I don't know what else to do. It really is a concern. It's my habitual patterning. But yes, we're coming back to right. So I can't believe the people in power are going to let these places be obliterated. Therefore, what we're being put out there about how the coronavirus is being transmitted is incorrect. So we look at the facts. If they're not going to allow these places to be obliterated, it means that these places are a place of safety. Because how else are you going to help them? Do you really think a face mask or two is going to stop anything? No. Where's the running water? Where's the hand sanitizer for these people? Going to let these places die and be wiped out. So the information being put out there on the coronavirus is incorrect. Therefore, we really have to look at it and say, right, if it is consciousness, airborne, or energetically transmitted, then it's the exact opposite. the conditions, the very conditions in the favelas and the migrant camps, which are harsh. It's a harsh life from what I can imagine. Must be a very harsh life. No running water, no running sewage, cooking facilities, insulation, heating, electricity, life comforts. Must be the very things that ward off the coronavirus. Therefore, we've got the exact opposite. Again, that society, the way we live as a modern day species is the very illness. That's what's coming to mind. All right, I know I can appreciate I'm jumping the gun, but this is the way my mind works. As I said, my schizophrenia and my mental health have all been merging, and they come up with the most likely scenarios. And as much as it's far out there, if you go back to 21.33 minutes that I've spent waffling, and play it back and listen coherently, does it not make sense? Yes, we're jumping to conclusions that it's the way we live as a society. But given all the information that's been put out there, that's the way it's looking. So it's very serious, this coronavirus, in the sense that if we're honest with ourselves and we're humans, or depressed zombies with good past habitual patterning, we should be able to see. So I think this might be a morning riddle for most people. That's what it would be called, the morning riddle. Coronavirus. I'm gonna make an admission. I'm beginning to get a bit lost in my own voice with these posts, but in some way it's healing to a depressed zombie. So anyway, I've spoken enough. Keep alert with this virus, and I think we're going to have to accept the world isn't going to be the same place, if we're honest with ourselves.